Hello everyone, Kelvinator here and welcome to another video about MFL. Today we really need to talk about the massive Season 4 changes that Met announced yesterday on Discord. It was a really big update, a lot of people are talking about it. There's a beautiful blog post that the team has written about all those changes, but I'm sure that you prefer to watch this video and see how I explain them to you, so you don't have to read it. Of course, it's always better to maybe read it so you know the tiny details, but I'm gonna paint big picture what is gonna change in NFL. So here we go. In this video I'll talk about the new rarities, the changes to player distribution, age, reward structures, prize pools, they are also changing, and some new rules for playing MFL. So let's start. Two new player rarities. I think this is really one of the biggest changes. So the team will add two new types of cards, two new rarities to the game. Limited players, so they will replace the high-end common players. They are between 55 and 64. And ultimate players, so they replace the legendaries between 95 to 99. Existing players that match these new tiers, they will be changing automatically, like with progression cards can change. They are gonna change the color of the card, so don't worry, you don't need to do anything. That will happen automatically. So why is the team doing this? The limited cards are to differentiate a little bit, a bit more fine-tuning also with the packs. Right now, if you buy a kickoff pack, you can really have a common player of 40 or 63. That is like a massive change. And also ultimate to have a bit more appreciation for that really high tier as progression starts to kick in, and you can really see a couple of really special player ultimate. So to appreciate that a little bit more. What will they look like, the cards? So you can see here the limited tier is a bit of a golden one. There was a bit of a discussion like about maybe the color and also the name limited, but I think over time people will get used to it. So the limited card, and also a black ultimate card, which is then higher than the purple legendary right now. So soon in Season 4 you'll see your cards changing automatically. I think for black there's only a handful of players, but there will definitely be a lot of those limited players. Then the other big thing is that the player generation will also be reshaped. So there has been a lot of talk about that commons, they don't really matter, or like can you even use commons, but the team is trying to rebalance that in a couple of different ways. One of the ways is that the average generated overall is going to drop from 62 to 57. So on average, players are getting worse. So higher rated players will become more scarce. Rare players will be 3 times scarcer. So legendaries will also will stay the same, but also remain very scarce. Why is that? Like another reason is that it will become more affordable for new managers. There will be a bit more heavy on the lower end of the spectrum, and those players are also cheaper. So then to be more competitive and join the game, you can easily buy a team and a couple of players. So the lower end players, there will be more of them, and because they're cheaper, it will be a bit of like easier to afford and a lower entry for new managers. So I think that's a pretty good change. Here in this table you can see what it will look like. So you can see 40 to 54 is 44%, so almost half of the players. So it's quite a big group, is below 54, so it's the common. The limited, the new tier is 35. So the old common group in total is like 80% even, so that will be a really big group in the future. And then uncommon 17, rare 4, legendary 0.4, and ultimate none. So ultimate players, they won't be generated, you can only progress there from a legendary. So we'll see way more common limited players in the future. Longevity and age adjustments. Another quite a big change is that players, they will retire earlier on average. So it used to be 37, now it's 35. So there will be earlier retirement, and also on average players will be minted. The newly minted players will also be older. So on average 22 to 23, while before it was 21 to 22. So this means that the player career will get a bit shorter. This is to maintain a bit more the sustainability of the economy, a bit earlier retirement. They start playing later. So there's a bit of a faster turnover, and also we get to retirement quicker. But don't worry, these changes only apply to newly generated players. So all the cards you have right now, they will all have this 37 average age. So maybe it's also good to buy the current players, so you know for sure they retire 2 years later on average. New prize pool calculations. So the team has come up with a new formula, a new way of calculating the prize pools. Rewards are tied to manager activity, so how many clubs are participating in the season, and also the player value. And so they have created a certain value formula. We don't know exactly how, but they take the player overall, market data, prices, and player ages. They throw it into, I don't know, a big formula, I guess. And they come up with a number which they call the total economic impact. And they're making sure that 90% of the value is in the prize pool. Not the full 100%. I think the team wants to take that 10% as some kind of their own paycheck. That some of that value they can keep and as a steady stream of revenue. But also it means that if you are good, and you play well, manage well, you can take a bigger share relatively of the prize pool and be super sustainable. This means, we saw this picture being shared on social media, that 40%, there will be 40% more rewards next season because of the new formula they calculated. So, sounds good, but what can you then buy with it? We're gonna talk about it too, about the packs, but that will be in second, because first it's how can you win those rewards. That is also changing. But the balance between the league and the cup rewards has changed. 75% of the rewards are now from the league. That's 5% more than season 3. And the cup is 5% less. So 25% of the rewards can be won in the cup. So 90% of the value is in the prize pool. We already said that. And higher divisions earn more. This is also new. So the differences between the divisions are different. So between each division you can earn 4% more, and if I remember correctly from the blog post, on average it's 2%. You can earn 2% more in a higher division. I'll show you the league structure and the reward structure in a second. And what's also new is that bottom teams earn more than before. So what does it really look like in this structure? I hope you can see it, that it's big enough. But yeah, you can see that roughly the top teams, the top reward is about 2 times. That is what they want. And that the bottom teams earn more. So one big criticism was that there was not enough incentive to promote, and some people were like on purpose losing some matches not to get promotion because they thought they could earn more being a top team in a lower division than a relegation side in the higher division. That is now balanced out. So there's a much more incentive to promote, and it's also more competitive because you're really rewarding the higher team, the better teams. So that is a great change. And also in Diamond, the top 3 teams will earn 25% more. So there's really a big boost to reward the top teams, the best teams, to make it really an incentive to try to get better and compete in higher leagues. Also the IMFF Cup rewards, there's a couple things changing, so it will be in total less. But there's different ways now you can earn MFL. Before, you could only earn MFL if you made it out of the group stage. But now, if you win a group stage match, you also earn MFL. For example, a Titans Cup win is 14k MFL. That's quite a lot. A Challenger Cup win is 1.5k MFL. So you can earn now also by winning games in the group stage. Why is that? It's a bit more fair that if you did a super great group stage and then you lose out, you don't get anything, while other teams get much more. So it's to balance that. And also more competitive. A lot of people, when they were already knocked out or when they already qualified, they would line up super bad teams to because it didn't really matter. But now it matters. You can earn a nice share of MFL, a nice bonus, so it incentivizes you to keep being competitive in the cup. Then what I already talked about, that there will be way more rewards, and then there's also different ways now. You can of course spend those rewards, and the packs change what you can do with those rewards. So cheaper legendary rare packs, I think that's a big change. So top division clubs, they have a bit more purchasing power with those rewards. Of course, the new limited players, they also get their own pack. So there's a new limited pack. And in the future, they also want to look the team into having maybe smaller ranges that you can pay a bit more, for example, for a high rare pack 80 to 84 and a low rare pack 75 to 79. It won't be there next season for sure, but the team is working on it. So what does that really look like? As you can see here, the legendary pack, reward pack got cheaper, the rare pack got cheaper, uncommon stay the same. The common players got much cheaper because they are now 40 to 54. And there is a new pack, the limited pack 3000 MFL, so 1000 more than the common. So that seems like a pretty good value for money, also knowing progression and potential. Or you can just buy a bunch of, like so many guys for 600 and hope there's also some progression, like high potential players in there. So this also poses a fun question. What do you do with your rewards? Do you spend it on so many new common players or go for more the limited ones? Then something I really like is that there's some new rules for active squad management, that you really need to manage your teams actively, otherwise you lose out. So 5 forfeits if you have invalid lineups or you don't show up, let's say, for a game. 5 forfeits means no rewards. So you don't get any rewards in the whole season. So you really have to be careful for that. And also, often teams, they have a valid lineup, but the players just get tired. So you forget to manage or you give up. If this happens, if 5 players below 60%, that is an auto forfeit. So if you don't manage your team at all, everyone gets tired, you accrue all these forfeits, and then you lose your rewards. So you need to be active, manage your teams actively. Another thing is that there's a minimum overall per division. Let's call this the trust the process rule. He put a very bad team into diamond to farm the rewards. The development team didn't really like it, that you could do it. So now you need to have a certain overall to be able to play in a division. So that means good quality of all the teams. And this apart from ice. In ice you can field whatever team you want. And IMFF Cup draws also now consider the top 11 instead of the top 18. That's a big change. And no multi-season contract anymore, because there was a lot of complaints about them and barely anyone was using them. So there's more downsides than upsides to multi-season contracts. So 1 season contract. But of course, if you put it in auto renewal, it will keep renewing and you kind of have the same multi-season contract. So let's look ahead to season 4. So in short, what are all the things? There's now a more, I would say, a clearer rarity system. There is a bit more nuance, a bit more differentiation between the lower players. And also, there will be way more lower players than higher players, will be more scarce. Bigger prize pools. So because of the North formula I explained, there will be way more rewards. Active managers will be rewarded more, and with these changes and these new formula and prize pools and different rarities, also the earlier reward retire age, how do you say it, age of retirement, and the higher player generation age. The team also hopes to create a bit more sustainable economy with all of those changes included. But the main thing, which I think is the most important from this update, is that it will become way more competitive. In the end, it's about playing the game, it's about competing in the leagues, and now everyone wants to promote. You have no reason anymore to want to avoid relegation. It really pays off to be in a higher league. So this is really the spirit of the game. You want also, it rewards winning in the cups more. So you want to win, you want to promote, you want to go to higher divisions because there will be much better rewards, and with those rewards you can buy a lot of nice players. So I think that is the main thing, which is really good. So I'm really happy with this update. It will really stimulate everyone to be an active manager, be more competitive, be more engaged. It will lower the entry point for new managers, and it will improve the whole MFL economy and ecosystem in a really great way, I think. Let me know what you think about all of those updates below in the comments. Like, subscribe, share the video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.